All right, welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into this really awesome tool for anyone who's ever tried to learn to code. You know that feeling, right? When you're stuck between knowing the theory and actually doing it? Well, this one is for you.
Yeah, we've all been there. You've binge-watched the tutorials, you've read all the docs, but then you sit down in front of a totally blank editor and poof, something's just missing. And you know what that gap is? It's practice.
So that's the million-dollar question, right? How do you really master code? How do you get from just kind of understanding the concepts to being able to build stuff, with real confidence?
And look, the answer is pretty simple. It's practice. But, and this is a big but, it can't just be any old practice. For it to actually stick, it has to be engaging, it's got to be effective, something that locks in what you've learned without feeling like homework.
But what if we could just flip that whole idea on its head? What if practice felt more like play? Imagine building up those coding muscles and actually having a blast while you're doing it.
Well, that's exactly the big idea behind the site we're looking at today. It's called LearnFullStack.in, and it's a platform built from the ground up to turn practice into, well, a learning adventure. And I just love this quote. It's right on their site. It's not about studying or grinding. No, it's an invitation to an adventure. And that little shift in perspective, it makes all the difference. So what is it exactly? Okay, picture this. It's a totally free website, and it's just packed with interactive quizzes and coding games. The whole point is to make learning web development skills fun, super accessible, and, most importantly, really effective.
Okay, so let's get into the good stuff. What can you actually learn here? The site really hones in on the core technologies you need for modern web development.
First up, you've got HTML, the absolute foundation of the web, right? The quizzes here are going to help you master all the tags and structure. The skeleton of literally every single website you've ever visited.
And of course, after the skeleton comes the style. You'll tackle CSS. This is where the magic really happens, letting you go from a basic structure to adding all the colors, layouts, and pizzazz that make a site look awesome and professional.
Then we've got JavaScript. This is the engine that brings a website to life. The games on the site let you practice the very code that makes things clickable, interactive, and, actually do stuff for your users. And to make sure you're learning what's hot right now, the platform also has challenges for React. This is one of the most in-demand libraries out there today for building those fast, complex user interfaces we see all over the place.
So, you've got the tech, but how does the site actually help you practice it all? Well, it really comes down to two main ways of learning.
The platform gives you two different paths to walk down. On one side, you have these practice quizzes, and they're all about testing your core knowledge. And on the other side, you have code games, which let you apply that knowledge in a really fun, hands-on way.
So these practice quizzes, they're your secret weapon for making things stick. They use this powerful learning trick called active recall. So instead of just reading your notes over and over, you're forced to pull the info out of your brain, which builds much stronger connections. You get to see what you know, find the gaps, and get that instant feedback that's so important. And then you've got the code games. And this is where things get really fun. We're talking about learning by doing. You're not just answering questions anymore. You're thrown into these little interactive puzzles and challenges where you have to write real code to win. It's not just fun for fun's sake. This gamified approach seriously boosts your motivation. It turns study time into playtime and helps you build that practical, hands-on muscle memory.
Okay, so what's all this going to cost you? How much for this whole setup? Here it is. Zero. A big fat zero. The entire platform, every quiz, every game, it's all completely free.
And if you thought free was good, check this out. There are literally no hoops to jump through. You don't need to create an account. You don't need to sign up for a newsletter. You just go to the site and start learning. That's it. No friction at all.
So with zero cost and zero hassle getting in your way, there's really only one question left to ask, isn't there? What's your next move?
And the site itself says it perfectly. It's a direct, encouraging call to action. It's not about planning to practice later. It's about jumping in and starting right now.
So here it is. This is the destination for your next learning adventure. LearnFullStack.in. That's simple. Just type that into your browser.
It really just boils down to this one question. The next level in your coding journey is literally one click away, and it's framed as a game just waiting for you to play. So the only question left is, are you ready?